Now we'll be using paint to paint some of our garments on our 5 figures. So you need to see how to paint the garments. So we'll be laying down washes first for the general color of the garment, and then we'll be adding shadows. So this video will show you the basics in adding shadows. Now we're going to do general shading for a garment. So this one I've made red, a light red, a wash, which is diluted paint, and I let it dry. This one, I'm going to show you one technique called wet on wet. So you do the wash, and then you mix the shadow color. So I'm going to make a darker red, add a little blue maybe, make a kind of a burgundy kind of red for the shadow. Blot the brush while it's still wet. It'll kind of blend by itself. So the shadow, the highlight is coming from the left side. Apply the shadow color and go under the bust, into the creases, a little bit on this side, under the bust, on this band, creases, and on this side, away from the light source. So that's wet on wet, but if it's not blending, then clean your brush, wipe it off, and you can soften while it's still a little wet, or you can re-wet it. You can soften it so that it blends. So that's wet on wet. This one is wet on dry. So same thing, I'm going to take the burgundy shadow color away from the light source. I'm going to add shadow, a little bit on the collar, under the collar, because it'll cast a shadow, under the bust, creases, same over here, under the collar, on the overlap, a little bit on this side for balance. So this one was wet on dry, adding the shadow, and this was wet on wet. You can come back and soften it again, add more shadow, or blend more. So that's basic shading and coloring that we'll do for the garments.